associate things like acne with our hormones, but hormones actually play a bigger role in our body, and especially as we age. And the association between aging skin and hormones is actually huge. So in this video, we're going to talk all things hormonal health, how to keep our hormones in check, and what we can do as our hormone levels begin to decrease with age. You know, if you're a female, your estrogen levels are decreasing through perimenopause and into menopause. And then of course they drop off completely postmenopausal. So we have a huge reduction in hormone levels for women as we age, and even for men too. Their testosterone levels dip as they age. And so we're going to talk about what to do, how to supplement this, how to deal with this, how to help yourself age better, and combat some of the skin problems that happen when your hormones themselves are not at their optimal levels. So remember, this channel is all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. And this video was really born out of a lot of discussions that I've been having lately with my friends regarding hormones and the role that they play in our skin. Also, I really wanted to put out a cosmetic needling video, but I have a little bit of acne, and part of that is hormonal. And so that also played into why I chose to do the hormone video today. I hope you enjoy this. Let's talk about hormones. Let's talk about hormone health. It really does affect your skin, and it could be the reason why your skincare products don't seem to be working. One of the problems that happens, especially with women as we age, is that we get that dry, rough, flaky skin, and estrogen itself could be the culprit on why you're having this dry, flaky skin, especially if you're using the same moisturizers that you've been using and you are, you're getting lots of moisture, you're putting on those essences, you've got the serums, you're locking it in with an occlusive moisturizer, and it just doesn't seem to be enough. Now, there are things that you can do topically to help combat that. You can do like the slugging, using things like Aquifer to really lock it in. It may be you're experiencing dryness due to, tretinoin, especially if you're using that, like a Retin-A, but it could also be hormones. Estrogen is so important. It helps keep our skin barrier intact and keep it strong and also hydrated. So one of the problems is if your skin barrier begins to weaken at all, and that can happen if your estrogen levels deplete. And if that happens, your skin barrier itself begins to weaken, and that can lead to transepidermal water loss, which basically means water just leaks out of those weakened points in your skin barrier. So not fun. Okay, we don't want water leaking out of our skin. So estrogen helps keep that water in. It also helps keep the skin thick and supple and plump. So if you've noticed that your skin is looking less plump lately, you're looking a little bit more sallow, a little bit more haggard, this could be the reason. Estrogen is often a culprit for that sallow skin look as women age. It also helps keep collagen and elastin bundles healthy. So that's those bundles that are lower in the stratum corneum, and it helps to keep the skin tight and youthful. So if you feel like maybe you've been lost a little elasticity lately, that may be the culprit. Estrogen could very well be lowering in your body. Estrogen levels fluctuate a lot throughout your lifetime, especially as women hit about the age of 40 to 45. Those levels begin to really go down. Another thing is it keeps redness, hyperpigmentation, and vascular, like the vascular look, the veiny look, it helps keep that from showing up on your skin. A lot of that is due to skin thickening, but some of that is also just due to veins getting pushed further out into the where they're more visible in the skin, and that is a product of estrogen loss in your skin because, right, you get more inflammation, you get more edema that like pushes those veins outward and makes them more visible. All of those things can be the cause of estrogen depleting in your skin. And the second symptom is a symptom that I have actually had a lot of recently, and that is adult onset acne. By the time you're 45, you're probably swinging into perimenopause. I don't like to think of menopause as like an event that happens. A lot of times in literature, that's kind of how it seems. It's really almost like a continuum. So the process of ovulation and the dips in estrogen that happen as our ovulation begins to wane, right, happens over a long period of time. So we're talking a decade, right? And in that time, your hormones will raise and lower. And on a monthly level, on a daily level, you will have fluctuations in your hormones. Estrogen is one of those hormones that's really hard to pin down. If you're going to get your estrogen levels checked to see if you have a decrease in estrogen, you want to take a good 3 to 4 readings before you'll really find out where your average lies, and make sure that you get at least start with like a ovulation or post-ovulation measurement, because that's going to give you a better indication of whether or not your ovulating hormone levels are at peak efficiency. So really that does matter. You can do a little bit of Google research on that, but really don't take one reading and go with that one reading. You need multiple readings over a little bit longer period of time before you can really see where your hormone levels lie and how that might be impacting your skin. But the problem is, as those estrogen levels start to fall, so how can this lead to acne? Well, it increases the hormone androgen. And not hormone, androgen is a set of hormones, right? Which include things like testosterone. And these are really your male hormones. And when your estrogen levels fall, you tend to increase progesterone, which then will uptick your androgen levels. And so because of that, it can actually make you produce like more oil and make your skin like more prone to like clogging of pores and breaking out, which can be super problematic. The third symptom that comes with estrogen level depletions in your skin is also sensitive skin. So as your levels decrease, right, it can cause your brain to interpret your skin as being more sensitive. It's not necessarily more sensitive. It's just that you have a harder time distinguishing that. The fourth problem that we run into is because of cortisol, right? As we get stressed in our daily life, cortisol levels rise. Well, as your estrogen depletes, your cortisol levels do rise as well, which can flare up things like hyperpigmentation, eczema, psoriasis, keratosis, those kinds of things that are affected by the cortisol levels. So estrogen is a super important hormone for our skin. In fact, it has been shown that women who are estrogen deficient, their skin thickness actually decreases by like 1.13% every year, which is huge. Collagen bundles decrease by 2% each year as estrogen levels begin to fall. And this is post-menopausal women, I believe was that study. For the first 5 years that you're post-menopausal, your collagen level actually depletes by 30%. So it's huge, the impact that estrogen has on collagen and elastin production. And there are so many studies on this. One study came from the International Journal of Women's Dermatology, and it was really a meta-analysis looking at all the research that was done on estrogen applied topically. And the conclusion was that from all of the studies they looked at, they did show an increase in thickness, epidermal thickness, with estrogen replacement. That's estrogen replacement creams on your face. And there have also been studies on hormone replacement therapy in women, estrogen replacement therapy, that's also been shown to increase skin thickness as well as collagen and elastin. And so both of those were shown to really increase it. Interestingly enough, a combination of HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, and estradiol cream actually showed the best results for replacing that lost estrogen and really helping to reduce those wrinkles and large pores and fine lines that are associated with estrogen loss in women. It also increased skin thickness and increased the collagen and elastin production in the skin immensely from women who followed that protocol. That is one study. In another study in an International Journal of Dermatology, and in this study they used estradiol, which is an topical estrogen replacement cream. They used 0.01% and 0.03% estradiol, and they had 59 pre-climacteric women. Those are women who are beginning to show a decrease in ovulation, right? So that's women whose estrogen levels are falling. They may be perimenopausal or menopausal, but they're just kind of beginning on that cusp. Most of us are in this category, right? If you are over the age of 45, you are most likely in this category because your ovulation has started to wane. I hate to be the one to break it to you ladies, but that is the truth. And so when our estrogen levels begin to wane, we fall into this pre-climacteric group of people, and that just means our ovulation and our estrogen levels are beginning to change. It's up and down throughout the day, it's up and down throughout the week, and it's up and down throughout the month, and it's up and down throughout the year. Basically, that just refers to the gradual changes of ovarian function that start well before menopause, and most of us lie somewhere in there if you are in the 40s to 50s range. So what did they show? Well, after 6 months, these 59 women showed improved elasticity and firmness in their skin. They had their wrinkle depth and pore size had decreased from anywhere from 61% to 100% decrease, which is huge, right? So these women showed a remarkable turnaround by using this 0.01% estradiol or 0.03% estradiol. Actually, it didn't matter which one they used, just having that estrogen replacement seemed to work pretty well for all of the women. The skin moisture also increased, so they held on to moisture longer in their skin. So they used a profilometer, which is basically measures the thickness of the skin, and they showed that thickness increased and the wrinkle depth and size actually decreased. So that was super huge. They also noticed that type 3 collagen bundles were, type 3 collagen was more abundant in the skin, and there was an increase in the number of collagen bundles and the proliferation of collagen in the skin. That was massively huge and super important for us as we're thinking about what to do in order to combat the loss of estrogen as we age. So it did increase prolactin, which was kind of troubling. That's the stuff that like helps us lactate. I will tell you, I'm not sure if that would lead to like more instances of cancer and so on and so forth. So definitely do your research before just like running out and buying this. But there have been multiple studies that have shown that it really doesn't raise estrogen levels in the body that much, but there are other hormones that have been affected by it. So just be cautious and be aware. If you have a history of cancer, if you have a family history of breast cancer or ovarian cancer, these are things you might want to have a discussion with your doctor about, especially before beginning anything. But guess what? I have alternatives for you that are all natural, so maybe you don't need that estradiol. So let's talk about that too. So how do we combat hormone fluctuations besides hormone replacement therapy of some kind, whether topically or orally or both? So the first way to combat hormonal fluctuations is eating a healthy diet. Studies have shown that a healthy diet actually does impact your estrogen levels. So one study actually showed that a Mediterranean diet had a huge impact on circulating estrogen in the blood. Sometimes when you're eating poorly and you have a lot of processed foods in your diet, it can lead to kind of an uptick in the free estrogen that's like running through your body. And this is estrogen that your body is not using. It's not like, you know, taking it in and using it for your skin or using it for whatever. It's just that free stuff that's running around. That's actually not good. So we want to try to have a good balance between estrogen that is bioavailable and ready for our body to use, and that estrogen that's just kind of running around causing inflammation and damage. So interestingly enough, the Mediterranean diet actually showed to help lower that free estrogen level. So it did, and it helped regulate the hormone estrogen level production. So that is a good thing, right? Another study showed that plant-based diets, especially those that contain phytoestrogens like seeds, and I'm thinking like flax and sesame seeds, soy, and I'm thinking of fermented, because you don't want to be eating soy that's not fermented, especially if you're trying to like help with like those, add some more phytoestrogens to like increase your estrogen levels. And so things like tofu and tempeh are really, really going to be good for that. And then veggies like yams, carrots, celery, sprouts, kale are all going to be really good for increasing those estrogen levels. And I try to include those vegetables themselves. Like I do like sweet potatoes, I do celery, carrots, and kale in like most of my meals. So I always consume those every single day. And also the plant-based diet has been shown to lower cortisol and androgen levels in women and actually raise, right, testosterone levels in men. So that's a win-win for a good, wholesome plant-based diet or Mediterranean diet. Both have been shown to be pretty healthful. Exercise. Oh my gosh, y'all, exercise is so important. Exercise has been shown to help balance out the estrogen hormones in your body. It's also been shown in men to increase testosterone, in women to increase estrogen levels, the balance between estrogen and progesterone, but it's also been shown to eliminate some of that circulating estrogen. And remember, that's the stuff that you don't want. So it kind of clears out all the unwanted estrogen and helps regulate the estrogen production. Now, when women do like really heavy training, it increases testosterone. But you're probably not going to be doing that unless you really want to bodybuild. So things like zone 2 cardio, HIIT, calisthenics, these kinds of things are going to be really beneficial for women as well, and can help with bone health and bone density. And you want to keep that as well as muscle mass as you age, because that is so important. I mean, I want to be walking when I'm 80. Number 3 is get plenty of sleep. I cannot tell you how important sleep is for your hormone health. It affects so many things, especially cortisol levels, which then can wreak havoc, like I've told you, I feel like a broken record, on your estrogen progesterone balance, right? You need to have that perfect estrogen progesterone balance. And when you introduce a hormone like cortisol because you're not getting enough sleep, then you're not going to have that healthy balance. You need 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night in order to be healthy. It's good to take like a magnesium supplement before you go to bed. I take the Momentous Sleep package. That is the one that Dr. Andrew Huberman suggests. And I have been taking that. I really like it. It's a cocktail of supplements, which include magnesium and L-theanine, as well as some things that promote healthy, optimal sleep quality. So you really should think about, at least taking magnesium. Please do not take melatonin. So many studies have shown that melatonin is terrible for you. And when you take melatonin, it actually throws off the balance of hormones in your body and can increase cortisol. Oh my gosh, it can just do so much. So stop taking it. If you're taking it now, don't take it anymore. I have not been talking about this, but I need to talk about this because this is so important. Too many people rely on melatonin and it's just not good for our body and can also throw off our hormones as well. Number 4, and you know this as well as anybody, reduce your stress levels. So how do you reduce your stress? Make sure you get plenty of sleep. Make sure that you exercise. It's going to reduce your stress. Eating healthy is going to reduce your stress and inflammation in your body. Also just like really like practicing like meditation, non-sleep deep rest, NSDR is another thing that a lot of people like to do to try to combat some of that stress in their lives. Whatever you can do to really reduce your stress levels is super important because you know stress increases cortisol, which then throws off your hormone balance in your body. Number 5, supplement. Right? You should be taking all of these 5 supplements that I'm going to talk to you about that's going to help your estrogen levels. Magnesium. You can get these from your diet. Things like leafy greens, avocados, lentils, chickpeas, black beans. All of those are going to have magnesium in them. Remember, our food is more depleted in nutrients today than it was 150 years ago. So it's probably good to go ahead and supplement. You can take like a magnesium citrate or a magnesium phthalate, whatever you want to take. Just make sure that you're taking a magnesium supplement. You're taking it a couple of hours before you go to bed is probably the optimal time to take it. So be getting that. Vitamin D3 and K2 help you use the calcium, and the K3 is going to help you, right, channel that to the proper areas like your bones. You can get that from seeds like flax and chia seeds, and you can also supplement with it. A good vitamin D3 K2 supplement is what you want. Omega-3 fatty acids. You can also find these in walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. However, you can also supplement with that as well. I take a krill oil with astaxanthin. You really need astaxanthin for your skin. If you are taking a different kind of omega-3, like if you're a vegan or a vegetarian and you don't want to take it from a fish, you can take a vegetarian form of omega-3 as well. And I believe that's usually sourced from like flaxseed or chia. You won't have that astaxanthin, so you really need to be supplementing with that because it's going to help with your skin health. Things like, you know, water holding on to moisture, things like hyperpigmentation, right, are going to be helped with astaxanthin. It's a super important antioxidant and one that does play a vital role in our skin health as well. B vitamins are also going to be important. You can get these from seeds, yogurt, beans, right? So think fermented foods like yogurts. Also think of beans and seeds are going to give you that vitamin B. I do supplement. I take AG1, and so it has a B vitamin complex in it as well. And then finally, probiotics. So trying to up your fermented foods, kimchi, yogurt, pickles, right? Sauerkraut, things like that. Kefir, which I love. You got to be aware when it comes to yogurt and kefir that you could be running into a sugar problem. So make sure that you check the back and that they don't add a lot of sugars to it because sugar will cause you to age. AGE, advanced glycation endpoint. So you really should be avoiding excess sugar in your diet as well. The American Heart Association recommends only 13 teaspoons of sugar per day, and most of us are getting way more than that. I think 13 is a little too big personally, and try to aim for a little less than that myself. There you have it. A lot about hormones. It's something I've been thinking about lately at 47, and I'm almost to the point where I am ready to start a cream like estradiol. I'll probably start it within the next year or two. Maybe not right away because I don't feel like I need it right now. My estrogen levels are pretty good, I feel like they're dipping. I've been having a little bit of like hot flashes and things like that, but they're not to the point where I'm ready to start right now, but it probably will be soon, and I'll start a topical estradiol cream, all the things, right? All the things. So if you've been struggling with dryness, if you've been struggling with sensitivity, all of that, and you're pretty sure that your skincare routine's on point, your barrier's not compromised, and you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and you're over the age of 40 and you're still struggling, you might want to look at your hormones because they may actually be the culprit. So let me know, what do you think about hormone replacement? What do you think about estrogen creams topically? Tell me, I want to know, and I will see you next time on Glow with Shelly.